We're back. We're here. We're back. And
we're back. A dinosaur story. Wait a minute. This isn't a dinosaur story. This is Toy Story.
Indeed. And speaking of stories, I have brought 3 fanfictions today for us to choose from.
We don't. No, what the? We don't do this. This is a honeypot. This was a fucking honeypot. X was like, oh, hey, guys, let's go record Toy Story 2. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, yeah, Toy Story 2. Yeah, we'll fucking do that. What the fuck?
Okay, we are going to do Toy Story 2 today. Don't you worry your pretty little head about that. But I have a few fanfictions for us to choose from. Unfortunately, I couldn't get 3 Toy Story ones because...
Were they too explicit?
Yes.
Woody and Buzz being adult toys?
No, it wasn't okay, so the most popular ships in order are Buzz and Jessie, Woody and Bo Peep, and then for some fucking reason, Sid and Andy. And it was hard to, because the thing with the explicit ones is, I want to make you uncomfortable, but I don't want us to get put on a list. You know what I mean? So I kind of had to get a little creative. Okay, so I have...
I need to know, King, did you know about this? Did you know that we'd be tricked?
What?
He's making us do fanfiction. I don't want to do fanfiction.
I'm not part of this.
What? Oh.
This is between you and the Lord.
No, speaking of the Lord, I did want to mention, guys, that someone made me aware that Dark Doom Firemaster removed Sonic High School from fanfiction.net.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I have no idea if this is actually the case or not, but there is a non-zero chance that he watched our reading of Sonic High School and realized that, wow, this is a big piece of shit. I should take it down.
Dark Doom Firemaster, you're doing the Lord's work.
No, we're doing the Lord's work. We helped him come to this conclusion. Possibly, maybe. So, for all that you hate the fanfiction readings, Ryan, you are doing the Lord's good work in encouraging the people who made these fanfictions to think about their life choices.
I'm gonna write you a fucking fanfiction. You're not even gonna know. We're gonna read on this goddamn podcast, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? And then I'm just gonna know. Because I won't say anything. You won't know, but I'll know. One of these fucking days, Michael, I swear to God, it'll be written just to make you suffer. The way I have suffered.
Okay. So we have 3 to choose from, and I did try to find short ones. So the Toy Story one I was able to find is called Trixie Lays Some Eggs, for some reason. Rated T for comedic and painful egg laying.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Then I have a Xenoblade fiction called Wait on Me. An unfortunate incident occurs and leaves Shulk with only a dress to wear. Doesn't that sound great? Oh, okay. And then we have a Golden Sun Halloween. The Golden Sun crew have a Halloween party at Isaac's house, but Isaac has other plans. Well, for Mia, that is.
Oh no, I don't like that. I don't like that.
So we have Trixie.
I'm low-key tempted just to say, hey, let's stick to I guess let's stay on brand if we're gonna do Toy Story today.
Okay.
We might as well do fucking Toy Story. But at the same time, Michael, painful egg laying?
Yeah, exactly. So okay.
I guess we got to see what this is about. King, do you have a preference?
I would like some egg laying today.
All right.
Then, guys, I guess it's time for us to come out of our shell. Don't worry, I won't egg you on for much longer.
All right, sending you fellas the link.
You'll be sorry for making me read this, Michael.
I'd like to see you try to make me sorry. All right.
This fanfiction won't be over easy.
Well, I thought you were one to always look on the sunny side.
Hey, there it is.
Well, hold on a minute. I thought you said you were looking for short ones. Jesus Christ.
Chaos Control!
This is a short one. Like there was like Okay, we can maybe skip through this a little bit, but
This is a million words.
there was one fan fiction that was about Andy and Sid taking a ride to college that was like 20 chapters long and like 20,000 words. So
What's the word count on the other two?
Okay.
I'm looking at this. Do Rex and this Trixie lady fuck?
I don't think so. I didn't read. I kind of skimmed through it. Okay, the Golden Sun Halloween one's pretty short, if you guys want to read that.
Well, I think I'm committed.
You want to read this 2,000 word fic?
I mean, no, but like, I don't want to read any of these.
Let's see, and then the Shulk dress one is a little longer than this. Okay, so the Golden Sun one is the shortest.
I say, fuck it, I'm sticking with my guns. I already made all my egg puns.
Okay. So
We gotta do it.
let's see. And just a reminder that if you guys haven't seen Toy Story 3 and 4 in a while, Trixie is the Triceratops, voiced by Kristen
I have not
Schaal.
seen Toy Story 4, period.
Hey, Rex, look at this! Rex continued
Oh,
tapping away at his video
no.
game, too caught in the moment to catch that he was being spoken to. Hey, Rex, look at this!
I regret this already.
Rex looked up, finally noticing Trixie standing next to him watching him. Oh, hey, Trixie, did you want to join me? We're about to take down Zurg in his evil fortress. Trixie looked at him, somewhat awkward. I'd love to, but I'm sort of having... She raised an arm and lowered her voice. Lady problems. Rex dropped the remote and stood there aghast. You mean like mascara? No, Rex, I mean... Trixie turned around, her blue plastic scales tempted to turn red. Feel here, she said, trying to point at her stomach. But her posable arms apparently weren't designed for that sort of pose. I mean here, she said, leaping to the side and trying again. Oh, with these paws, Trixie said, waving her arm around. Just feel my stomach.
Okay.
Okay.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, or I have to be the one who says this. This is the worst one we've ever done.
I think I'm having my baby.
Oh my god.
Here it comes. Rouge said this before she could even eat the abortion pill, so everyone knew the baby was coming for real. They could see a baby start to come out of her butt, and it was crying a lot.
No.
You've barely started, my friend.
Yes.
And you were the one who insisted that we keep reading this one. I just want you to be aware of that.
Yes, but you know what? I own it. Fuck it. But I just want you to know, this is the worst one, and I'm not happy about it.
Okay, said Rex awkwardly. He cautiously rested his claws on her stomach, but they were made of the same hard plastic as they'd always been. See, said Trixie, I'm bigger. Something has happened to my stomach. Rex looked at her. Oh, I hadn't noticed. He looked, and now that Trixie had mentioned it, he could see some form of growth had happened. Is your stomach not supposed to get bigger? Trixie got to the point. Rex, I think I'm with Egg, she whispered in his ear. The world went still. Trixie suppressed a shy giggle. What? Do dinosaurs still lay eggs in the 21st century? Rex asked. Oh, it's no biggie. Trixie raised a paw and brought it down. I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of this. Dolly, she called suddenly. We need to talk to you. She motioned for Rex to follow her across the room to where Dolly was, deep in serious conversation with Jessie. Come on, we'll get to the bottom of this. Rex hesitated. Wouldn't it be better if Reptilius Maximus went with you or something? He didn't know much about eggs, but he didn't feel he was the best dinosaur for the job. Don't be silly, you're perfect for this. Come on, let's go. Trixie hopped over to Dolly and Jessie. Rex followed awkwardly after tapping his claws together uncertainly. Hey, Dolly, I'm about to lay eggs. Trixie.
I have a question. So, toys have reproductive organs?
There was another fan fiction I didn't make you guys read that was about Bonnie's parents having sex and them not knowing what it was.
Why do you why do you do this?
Well, I have to pre-screen these fics before we read them on the show.
You really don't.
No, what would happen if it suddenly turns into like something really politically incorrect? You know what I mean? And then we're reading this on the show.
Here's a better idea. We just don't. We just don't.
Nonsense, Dolly said, waving a hand dismissively, not wanting to be distracted from her conversation. That's impossible. Toys don't lay. Dolly, Jessie said, you might want to look at this. Dolly turned to look at Trixie and stopped, staring at her belly. How is this possible? I don't know, Trixie said. I just woke up today, and here they were. Why are they here? Dolly looked at Jessie. But toys aren't supposed to... Toys don't have... Dolly looked uncomfortable. Rex still had no idea what was going on.
I have a request. Can you make Rex sound like Rex from Xenoblade 2?
I'll try. Yeah, I'm not good with British accents.
Oh, that's not British. That's, what, Welsh?
Well, British Isles, and Wales is in the British Isles, so...
You're in the British Isles.
And most toys don't have voice boxes either, Jessie replied, but we talk regardless. Dolly looked at Rex for a moment, and Rex felt uncomfortably like he was being put on the spotlight for something that he had no idea what it was for. That's like a Dark Doom Firemaster sentence. Dolly shook her head and looked at Trixie. Reptilius? Dolly asked. Trixie gaped. I would never... Then she paused, though he is sort of handsome. She looked at Rex. She wondered why she had never considered that shit before. Rexy. It had kind of a ring to it. No, I'm serious. I'm not dating anyone. Yet. What are eggs? I don't remember what he sounds like. I've only seen the movie once. Forky finally asked out of nowhere,
what are eggs?
Standing where nobody had noticed him, eavesdropping on the conversation. Well, eggs, my young utensil, Trixie began, giving him a friendly bop, are what female creatures like me lay. She looked pointedly at Dolly and Jessie. With or without a partner. Trixie stopped. Now, can we take a moment? I'm just realizing how awkward this all is.
Yeah, so am I.
Rex felt his own share of awkwardness at the conversation, too. Wait, I didn't know only females laid eggs.
Oh, that's so much better. Continue.
Do all females lay eggs? Forky asked another question. Trixie.
Why did you make it so?
Trixie screamed in exasperation, throwing out her paws and knocking him halfway across the room. Now everybody in this conversation is feeling pretty awkward. So what do we do about the situation? Jessie said finally. Rex took a step back, shifting his legs. Should I even be here? This all seems a bit... Rex always knew he was male, but now he was beginning to wonder how that even worked for a toy. He thought it was probably different from being female, but what did that even mean? Why did girls have to be so confusing? Before anyone could respond to him, the door flew open and Bonnie rushed in. The toys froze on the spot. Hi, toys, she called, rushing to grab Forky from across the room. Time for adventure! She grabbed her new Mei Lin Lee Red Panda plush, Totoro, and brought them over to the spot where Trixie and the other toys were. Trixie remained frozen as Bonnie began to start playing, but suddenly she felt the beginning of something beginning to start inside her. What? Trixie glanced around the room, but then Bonnie picked her up and brought her over to the circle of other toys. Playtime! As Bonnie continued the play, the pressure inside Trixie continued to increase, and then the real contractions started. Trixie gasped. It was all she could do to remain frozen. She gulped in, suppressing a cry. Bonnie looked at her, seeming to have noticed the slight movement of the dino in her hand. Trixie, are you okay? No, no, no! Trixie cried inwardly, suddenly aware of how painful the labor probably would be. The pain radiated through Trixie like she had never known before. This was pain she was never prepared to face. Is this what all dino gals went through? This was so unfair. Fortunately, at that moment, Bonnie's mom called, Bonnie, I got your goldfish crackers. And fun fact to everybody listening from TV land, Bonnie's mom is voiced by Lori Allen, aka Pearl Krabs and the boss from Metal Gear Solid 3. So that's fun.
Man.
Okay, Bonnie called back. She dropped Trixie, which did not do well for her contractions, and ran out of the room. Bye, toys! The instant Bonnie was out of the room, Trixie let out the scream she'd been holding in. Trixie, cried Rex, rushing over to help her. Are you okay? Okay, Trixie cried. I'm in pain! So much pain you wouldn't believe! Trixie cried out again. It hurts? Rex asked. Is this normal? That was a stupid question. Of course a natural process of life like this wasn't supposed to hurt, but Trixie just screamed, opposable arms flailing. I want to die! Throw me through the incinerator and pull me back out again! Just spare me from this! As if in response, another sharp contraction pierced through her. Trixie shrieked. Apparently, this was far more entertaining than pulling her through the incinerator and back again, and more painful. What do we do? Rex cried as the others quickly arrived. He still wasn't sure if he should be here, but couldn't leave Trixie until he was sure she was okay. Jessie looked on the verge of panic, spelt with a K. She's in labor! Does anybody know how to deal with labor? Stand back, said Dolly, nudging Jessie aside. Let me handle this. Dolly stepped behind Trixie and lifted her tail to check on the progress. After a second, she let it go and she stepped back. Actually, I have no idea what I'm doing. Jessie and Dolly looked at Totoro and Malin Lee. Totoro just shrugged. Malin looked completely about to loose it. I don't know about birth. I've only helped in those situations. I'm an only child. Well, at least my real life inspiration was, but it still stands. I have no experience with this. I don't know how to help here. Oh, you're giving birth? Forky asked suddenly. I saw some of Bonnie's mom's tapes about that. They're always kind of loud, with lots of screaming.
I haven't seen the movie, but I'm pretty sure that's not what he sounds like. Call it a hunch.
Do you know how to help her through it? Jessie asked. No idea, Forky replied. Just get the computer, Trixie wailed. If she could search some info, they could possibly help. But right now, this was more painful than death. She wanted to die.
So do I!
Okay, said Rex, highly concerned. He pushed the computer over to her and she frantically began typing. Each contraction made her wish that she was never manufactured. She pulled up a website about labor. It was probably the worst one on the internet with plenty of misinformation, but she was in too much pain to cross-check. Read this, Trixie said, squeezing her eyes shut. She couldn't focus on the screen anymore. She couldn't take this anymore, just like Ryan. Rex glanced through the article. I had no idea labor was this intensive, Rex remarked. He looked at Trixie, pounding on the floor in agony. It's really supposed to be this painful? I couldn't imagine being in that much pain. Ryan can. Well,
I mean, I am right now.
Trixie moaned pitifully. But here I am. Before anyone could reply, Bonnie came back in carrying a cup of goldfish crackers. Trixie wanted to scream at the cruelty of the situation, but she instantly froze like she was supposed to do. Inside, though, she was still trembling as the contractions engulfed every part of her.
This is the worst one! Oh my fucking god!
And it's still going, too.
I hate this!
Hey, Trixie, want a cracker? Bonnie asked, opening her mouth and plopping a cracker in. No, Trixie did not want a cracker. She wanted to vomit. But she kept that all to herself as Bonnie closed and opened her mouth a few times to help her chew. Fortunately, she didn't have a stomach to vomit from. Then again, she didn't have any place to form eggs either. It did nothing to help with the sickening feeling of nausea, though, as her innards felt like they were being incinerated 10 times over. Bonnie went around to the other toys, offering them crackers likewise. And so playtime with Trixie, Rex, Jessie, Dolly, Forky, and Mei Lin continued. She sort of forgot about Totoro at this point. And every time Bonnie jostled her body, Trixie wanted to scream pure agony. Trixie began to wonder if toys just naturally froze when people were around, rather than as an act of will, because she honestly didn't know how else she kept it in. Even so, it took all she had not to just scream it out then and there with Bonnie right there. She felt like every layer of plastic was being torn apart. You had never seen a toy as tortured as her. Why her? This is not what plastic was made for. But finally, Bonnie was done playing and rushed out of the room to join her parents to do something else. Trixie lay on her side where Bonnie had left her, gasping. Poor Trixie, Jessie said. She can't take much more of this. I can't imagine what she's going through. Are you okay? Rex said, stepping up to her side. I know this is awkward and you probably don't want me around. Oh, why did being a boy dino have to feel so weird right now? Yeah, Trixie looked at him and grabbed his paw. Why not? You're my fellow dinosaur, and I like having you over for important moments like this. Suddenly, Trixie gave another cry and began gasping again. If only it wasn't so stinking painful. Just push, Malin said. You think I haven't been? Trixie cried, screaming and kicking her legs desperately into the earth beside her. The pain was so horrendous that Trixie once again was begging for death. Suddenly, there were footsteps coming toward the room. Trixie screamed, Oh no, Bonnie's coming back! Don't make me freeze again! Buzz, who'd have been aware of the situation but keeping at a distance, finally stepped in. We'll distract her. Come on, Totoro, Buttercup. We have a job to do. With that, Buzz and his commandos made their way out the door to distract Bonnie. They knew just what to do without being caught. The series finale of Amphibia is on Disney Plus now, Buzz said in his best commercial voice. Buttercup and Totoro making what hopefully sounded like commercial background sound effects. Oh, Amphibia! Bonnie said, turning around and head back to the TV. Okay. As Trixie's soul-wrenchingly painful labor continued, they could tell it was getting close. Maylin Lee suddenly stopped. Wait, if toys aren't made for this sort of stuff, then how are the eggs supposed to get from inside of the body to out here?
How do they get outside of the body? Where do they go, EXO?
You're about to find out. Trixie's eyes went wide as the realization hit her. Suddenly, there was the sound of breaking plastic, and Trixie gave the most blood-curdling scream one can imagine. It felt like she'd been cracked in half. In the living room, Bunny's parents looked at each other, and then Bunny, did I hear something from your room? Her father asked. No, that was probably Mabel on TV.
I'm going to scream into my pillow now.
Bonnie replied calmly. And that's the answer to how eggs are laid, Porky said, the situation observed. Trixie laid next to her eggs in the nest the other toys made for her. They were huge. So huge, none of the toys even wanted to think about what that must have felt like laying. Lucky them, Trixie didn't get the benefit of not thinking about how painful it had been. Trixie would have given anything to leave it at just thinking. She had fully recovered from the laying, but she was still exhausted. In answer to Maylin's question, let's just say it still remains a mystery how exactly the eggs had gotten into the outside world. Trixie had checked afterward, and her plastic was all as it had been before. No breaks or anything to indicate any tearing left behind from the egg's violent arrival. Her toy body had done what it needed to do, and now it was back completely to the way it needed to be now. Apparently there was some stuff better left unsaid. Trixie Trixie still couldn't believe that a toy like her could have lived through such pain. That last moment had shattered everything she was, and she was sure she had broken it into hundreds of pieces. But here she still was. She was going to complain about labor pains sometime on Reddit, that was for sure.
I was so mad that I wrote not one, but 2 angry Tumblr posts about it.
Right now, she needed some rest. Rex came up and stood next to her. How are you doing? It still unsettled him having to see Trixie in so much pain. Oh, I'm doing well, considering I've survived more pain than any dinosaur should ever have the right to feel. Rex shifted uncomfortably. But anyway, I'm doing all right, Trixie provided finally. Listen, Rex said. I know you would have rather have had Maximus there than me, Rex gulped. But thank you for allowing me to help you. Trixie looked at him. Listen, I know me and Reptilicus have this thing going on, but you're my friend. You always have been. I like you. I don't know how things will work out between us in the future, but I was glad to have you with me. How much longer is this? Rex had never really considered having Trixie as a crush before, but at Trixie's kind words, he felt himself blushing. Hey, I feel good enough, Trixie said, changing her mind without needing to rest. She struggled herself to unsteady feet. Why don't we take a walk? So they walked, Trixie limping very uncomfortably, but managing regardless. Then, as they were walking, the door suddenly swung open and Bonnie stepped in. Trixie and Rex froze. She looked around a moment, and then stopped as she spotted the nest of eggs on the floor. She bent down to inspect them and picked one up to hold it close, an expression of confusion growing on her face. Okay, I think what I've learned today is 1,000 words max.
I think what you should have learned today is stop! Just stop!